it's great to be back. And thank you to the DSA for inviting me once again to share my insights with you. Today we're going to be talking about health, your real wealth. When you were younger, did your parents tell you to drink milk because it would build strong, healthy bones that didn't break easily? Great. I think we can all agree that our parents would have told us to drink milk. Doesn't matter where you're from, you would have been told to drink all that milk. Now, what if I was to tell you that belief so deeply rooted in our culture, it's a myth. Yeah, it's a myth. A large-scale study conducted by Harvard over 2 decades on women found no evidence that drinking milk would prevent bone fractures. Another large-scale study, this time conducted on males, found males that drank more milk as teenagers experienced more fractures as adults. The science doesn't support the belief, yet the consumer continues to believe. So what could be the possible explanation for this? Well, milk's a product high in calcium. High calcium improves bone mineral density. So the consumer believes it can reduce bone fractures. And this belief is a gift to the milk industry because it encourages consumption. But not all beliefs are gifts. You have beliefs. I have beliefs. We all have beliefs. Beliefs about ourselves. Beliefs about others, beliefs about places. You have a belief about pretty much everything. And your consumers have beliefs about your products. Those beliefs can be accurate. They can also be inaccurate. They can encourage consumption, or they might not encourage consumption. Many of your consumers will have those beliefs. Some consumers believe supplements don't work. So what's the point in using them? Some consumers believe that juices are not a healthy option. You can get healthier options in eating raw fruits. Smoothies got too much sugar. Creams don't really work. I could go on and on and on and on. These inaccurate beliefs don't encourage consumption. They don't help you to sell more. But the good news is, beliefs that have been formed can be changed. I'm Dr. Amna, consumer behaviour expert. I've been teaching and researching consumers for over a decade now. My journey with the consumer started on the shop floor. I used to sell jeans in a luxury department store, and I was completely fascinated by why some consumers bought some goods and not other goods, and what enticed them to buy different products. So I took my research into academia, and I've been researching consumers ever since. I'm a go-to media expert with over 400 contributions to national and international press, and I love sharing my insights with diverse audiences. The health and wellness market is growing exponentially. Worldwide, the market today is at about $4.3 trillion, and it's expected to grow to almost $7 trillion by 2025. Now, many of you have got products within the health and wellness market, and if you want a piece of that pie, then you need to understand how the consumer taps into health and wellness and how they connect with that market. But what we know about health and wellness is traditionally the notion of health has been about what you put into your body, whether that's food, drinks, supplements, or other forms of things that you put into your body. The narrative's changing and evolving to involve more concepts related to the wellness and the well-being of individuals, which promote health. So we're seeing new products in this space as well, whether that's a skincare product, whether that's a hair care product, oils, ointments, lotions, creams. I could go on and on and on. But there's a market that's out there that can be tapped into, and you've got products in them. So for the purpose of the next exercise, we're just going to talk about food and health. What we know about food is that not all foods are created equal. Some foods are heroes, packed with nutritional value and lead to positive health outcomes. Some foods are villains. They are void of nutritional value and lead to poor health outcomes. These food products, cola chocolate cookies, are they void of nutritional value? Yes. Packed with sugar, sweetener, artificial ingredients? Yes. Do they taste better than broccoli? Yes. Of course they taste better than broccoli. Are they unhealthy? Yes. Yet the consumer continues to buy them. Day in, day out, week in, week out. Why? It's because of their beliefs, desires, and concerns. So what is a belief? A belief is something that you think or feel. If you believe that diet plans don't work as soon as you come off them, and they only work for the period that you're on them, then you're not going to buy a diet plan because you don't think it's very effective. What is a desire? A desire is a want. So if you want gorgeous looking skin that is of a really good texture, you might choose to use a product that has aloe vera in it, because aloe vera has natural properties to improve the appearance of skin. What is a concern? A concern is something that prevents or restricts your behaviour. So if you're concerned that the supplements aren't going to work, then you're not going to waste your money buying them. Your beliefs, desires and concerns are powerful because they influence your consumption. But we've already established that sometimes beliefs are not accurate. They don't really reflect your product and the truth about your product. So we're going to do an exercise now, and I'm going to check on your beliefs and see whether your beliefs are accurate or not. So what you have to do is, I will say a statement. If you believe it's true, put your hands up. If you believe it's false, keep your hands down. So let's get started. Eating carrots helps you see in the dark. Hands up if you believe it's true. Hands down if you believe it's false. Eating carrots helps you see in the dark? How many of you got your hands up? Hands up if you believe it's true. So quite a few of you believe it's true. It's actually false. During World War II, the Brits released propaganda which suggested that pilots could see in the dark if they were eating carrots. Truth is, they had discovered radar technology which helped them to intercept bombs, and they didn't want the Germans to find out, so they created this myth, and long live the myth, as many of you still believe that myth. Next question. You should rinse your mouth after brushing. Hands up if you believe it's true, hands down if you believe it's false. It's actually false. You're not supposed to rinse your mouth after you brush because the fluoride becomes less effective. Can you get to where I'm saying about the beliefs? They're not always accurately reflected. Eggs lead to high cholesterol. Hands up if you believe it's true, hands down if you believe it's false. Eggs lead to high cholesterol? This one's a bit complicated, let me explain. When I was growing up in the 1980s, my mum used to give us 2 boiled eggs when on a cold wintry day, a bit like what it's like outside right now. And she would say they keep us full for longer because it's got packed full of protein and give you that warm feeling first thing in the morning. But she had concerns because she believed, because her doctor told her, that eating too many eggs would lead to high cholesterol. So she'd only give them us a couple of times a week. That's what she believed then. Yeah? Fast forward to July 2023, and I'm in the kitchen with my husband and I'm cooking Sunday brunch. For Sunday brunch we have eggs, smoked salmon, cheese, bagels, every single Sunday. So I'm cooking away and my husband comes up to me and he says, "How many eggs are you putting on those bagels?" And I said, "I'm putting 3 eggs on those bagels." He said, "3 eggs each?" I said, "Yeah, of course, 3 eggs each." He instantly replied to me, "You can't put 3 eggs on there. Too high in cholesterol, it's not good for the kids." Boy, was he in for a treat. I explained to him, the research that you're referring to is weak, misleading and false, and flawed by current standards of research. Recent research has indicated that you can eat eggs every single day, it's good for you, it's safe, because dietary cholesterol cannot be absorbed into the body. Let's just say there's no comeback on that one. Beliefs are pervasive. My husband learned about that belief from his mom. I learned about it from my mom. Beliefs are pervasive. These are stories that are told, shared, and they become ingrained in the consumer's mind. And something that was a belief and factual maybe in the 80s and before isn't actually a fact anymore because new research has established that it's not the truth anymore. And there's many inaccuracies and myths about your products, which can make them out to be heroes or villains. These are some of the ones that I found in my research. And they don't reflect your products and what the products can do for you and your consumer. But the great news is the beliefs that have been formed can be changed. You can change these beliefs to accurately reflect your products and tap into that market. Because if you want a piece of that pie, of that $7 trillion, you want to increase your sales, you want to get tapped into the consumer and how they understand health and wellness, you've got to get your beliefs right. So we're going to start by looking at how do you develop a belief which shows the power and potential of your product and convinces the consumer to buy and helps you to sell more products. But it's not enough to just build a belief. You need to tap into how the consumer understands health and wellness today so that you can exploit this opportunity. And going forward, we need to look into the future of what trends are emerging so that you are remaining relevant to your consumer. Through looking at how you build a belief, current beliefs and future beliefs, you can evolve and change as your consumer changes. And through that process, you will take your consumer on a journey with your brand and your products. So, let's talk about how you build a belief. As consumers, you think that your consumption is determined by your individual factors, your personality, your motivation, your interest. And to an extent, you're right. But we don't operate in a vacuum. We are social creatures, and human life is social. And we are influenced by the groups around us. And these groups are referred to as reference groups. So what is a reference group? A reference group is an individual or a group that influences your behaviour. Your mom, your dad, your family, your friends, your network, experts. They influence the way that you consume. They influence your aspirations, how you evaluate things, and the way in which you're going to consume. They have the power to change your beliefs and your behaviours. You're probably thinking, well, how do they do that? If I was to ask you, who would you trust to take advice from about what foods are healthy to eat? Would you trust a lawyer or a barrister? Or would you trust a nutritionist or a dietitian? You trust the nutritionist or a dietitian. Why? Because they have subject-specific knowledge. Their expert knowledge allows them to understand the properties of food. What's the difference? The macros, the protein, the content. Which foods are good for you and how your body might react to them. In comparison to a barrister. This informational influence gives them expert power to convince you to change your behaviour. And experts are necessary to change behaviours and to provide that factual information to the consumer because they trust them and they believe they're credible, so they will change their behaviour. What we also know in the health and wellness space is the science can add credibility to your message because it's usually and often seen as unbiased and the consumer believes it to be fact. But science alone doesn't change beliefs. Science alone doesn't change behaviours, forgive me. Beliefs change behaviours. So you need to work on the beliefs. I was speaking to my mum about the egg research that I discovered because my mum's got high cholesterol. So I thought I'd take this opportunity to tell her she can eat eggs. So I said to her over a cup of tea, Mum, I found this new research. You can eat eggs, it's healthy for you. And she responded to me, well, it's my doctor who told me that I'm not to eat eggs. It's not good for my health, I've got high cholesterol. So I responded to her, I'm a doctor, I've read the research, I understand it, you can eat eggs and it's healthy. And she responded to me, I'll wait for my doctor to tell me the real one. Ouch. So, I bring you to my first key point. Your messenger matters just as much as your message. So focus on collaborating with the expert, but the science matters too. And an organisation that is using and collaborating with experts is Zoe. Zoe is a personalised nutrition brand. They've launched in the UK and the US, and they've ambitions to launch globally. It's a new product. They use wearable technology to understand the consumer's body and their responses to food. And to add credibility and trust to their products, they use experts, doctors, scientists, researchers. All of these come together to add credibility to that message. You can use experts too, to build beliefs and shape beliefs around your products, which are going to make the consumer trust your product more and then buy it more. Now, how do you take a message if you collaborate with an expert down to your front line? Because really, in essence, you have a wonderful army of brand consultants, individual sales reps, who need to convince the consumer to buy. So one way to do that is social media, where they take the message from the expert who has the expert information and relays it down to the consumer. But your brand consultants also have something very, very special and unique too. They have experiential information, which the experts might not have. They have the shared journeys, learnings and stories of their consumers and themselves. They are walking, talking, living, breathing brand ambassadors and fans. And they have the power to persuade your consumer and to influence them to buy. So use the expert information with the experience-based information to provide a compelling offer to your consumer that they can't reject, because they've got the best of both worlds there. Many times I'm asked, should we use an influencer for a brand, etc., etc. And my answer to that question is, you have your influencers. Your influencers are the brand consultants. They're authentic, they're credible, and they're trusted. And they can influence your consumers to buy more. When we think about the science is important too. Because the science is treated as though it's an experiment, which is fact or not. It shows a significant increase or difference in my skin texture, or it doesn't. Or it helps with a bit. And that's how the consumer sees science, like laboratory experiments, where you can get yes or no answers. And this will be really useful for you to convince the consumer to buy. And so, the key takeaway from this, how to build your beliefs, is the messenger matters just as much as the message. Moving on to looking at how you tap into the current beliefs of consumers. During the pandemic, did you think about your health? I thought about my health. You thought about your health. We all thought about our health. And one of the questions that I asked myself was, am I healthy enough to face an unknown virus that we don't really have a treatment for at the moment? And this heightened awareness of health has remained. McKinsey research has identified that 70% of consumers want to be healthier. 50% of them want to use food to become healthier. Fresher foods, healthier foods, less artificial ingredients. The reason that the consumer engages in this behaviour is because they feel as though they're under threat. The pandemic was a health crisis. You could get seriously ill, possibly die. And when the consumer is faced with that situation, they take preventative behaviours. They adopt them. For example, they might start to eat different foods, go on a diet plan, take some supplements. Through that process, they're reducing the risk of the threat. They will adopt that behaviour provided that it's easy to adopt the change. Taking supplements, eating better foods, sounds like a fair trade to me if you're going to get seriously ill or die. And it sounded like a fair trade to the consumer. Marketers have tapped into this through health halos. A health halo is a single claim, such as low fat, low sugar, which creates a cognitive bias for the consumer. Take, for example, plant-based. Plant-based is a health halo which suggests that the product's made from plants. What the consumer does is overgeneralize this claim to believe that, the product might be low in salts, low in sugars. It's not actually what the health claim says. It says it's plant-based. And they think that the negative aspects of the product, such as that it might be processed, might have high sodium, are often ignored. And what the consumer then thinks is this product is healthier than it actually is. And that convinces the consumer to buy. So products such as veganism, it helps consumers to think that the product is healthier and they will buy it. Another shift that we're seeing in this space is to think about not just the nutritional aspects of food, but the functional aspects of food, or functional aspects of products. So can this product de-stress me a bit more? Can it make me sleep a bit better? Can it help with my brain health, boost my energy? And these functional aspects of health are now being seen in the wellness space as well. Starting off with food, during the pandemic, we were really stressed. Many consumers were anxious. And what many brands did is create stress-relieving snacks or stress-relieving products or foods. And this was a great way to tap into the consumer when they felt like this. One of the brands that did it is Tropicana. Let's have a look at this.
Try Tropicana Plus Berry Boost. A boost of vitamin C to support your well-being. Try new Tropicana Plus Power Punch. A boost of magnesium to help reduce tiredness.
So these are foods, but wellness isn't just about food. We know that wellness encompasses a lot more. And I have found various products such as anatomy oils, even Trinity London have got a de-stressing foundation. There's a space for you there to connect on the functional aspects of your product, often aligned with the ingredients that are in the product, such as magnesium and the various other products that can support your claims about what you're offering to the consumer. This is really important for the consumer because they are interested in the nutrition, but they also want to know how you're going to fundamentally change the state and the functionality of how I feel. So my advice is, if the consumer needs this messaging, then focus on putting your product halo on the packaging. It's a great way to connect with the consumer, to give them the benefits straight away. As a consumer, you're educating the consumer about the benefits of the product, so they will know more about what your product can do for them. But as your sales team, it will help them to support the consumer in making decisions about what products are right for them, and also convincing the consumer about what the benefits of the product are. As consumers, we're busy people. We want things quick, simple, easy. If you put it on my packaging for me, you're making my decision process a lot more streamlined and easy, and that's what I want. But the benefits aren't just for the sale. If you take that product away with you, you buy it, you're exposed to that packaging every single time you use it, whether it's a cream or a lotion or a juice. You've got that message there. You're exposed to it. And once you're exposed to it, repeated information lodges into your memory. If it's lodging into your memory, you're going to recall it. It's going to help you with brand loyalty. And that's really essential. Which brand in this world doesn't want to live rent-free in your head? Every brand wants to live rent-free in your head. So give them an opportunity by actually telling them the benefits of your product. One of my friends packaged up one of his products. So he had bought an office chair during COVID, and he decided he didn't need it anymore, so he put a label on it and put it outside his front door. It said, "Free to a happy home." Left it out there, came back a couple of hours later, didn't shift. So he decided to repackage it again. So this time he put on it £100 or nearest offer, straight back outside. 15 minutes later, it's gone. It got nicked. Because he packaged it up right. He made it desirable. He attracted a thief or a consumer. Interest, desire, action. That's what you want. So, the message is simple. State your product halo and you'll sell more. Moving on to the future. Everybody in this room is different. We're all different. Our bodies are different. Our interests and our personalities are all different. For many years, marketeers have tried to segment us into groups. And those groups could be various different groups on our lifestyle, but we're also a group based on gender. And a growing area of health and wellness is female health and female wellness. And this is a great opportunity for you to market your products to an audience that's ready to receive this information. The last time I was here, I talked about menopause and women-specific issues that impact women. And you've got a great opportunity there to connect with your consumer. But what we're seeing is more and more personalisation in the market too, where you actually look at the individual as they are. Now, I remember as a young girl going into shops and I'd be looking for products with my name on it, because it's first and foremost personalisation. It made me feel special. Somebody put my name on something. And to my shock and horror and dismay, I would never find any jewellery with my name on it, because I'm Amna, I'm not Anna, and I've not got a British name. So I never actually got any jewellery that was manufactured by a British retailer that actually had my name on it. And many of you might have had a similar experience. But what we know about personalisation is technology is leading to personalisation for individuals which is bespoke to them. And we're responding to consumers as they are. And an example of a brand that's doing that is Decipher. Decipher are using AI technology to create foundation which is individual to the consumer. So let's have a look at this. To your consumer. But it's not just about selling the product, is it? It's about what happens afterwards with the product too. And a brand that's leading the way here is Zoe. I go back to this example of the nutrition brand. And they will describe in this video how they use wearable technology and apps. So they have technology in the form of a technology which is related to an app. And we're going to see a lot more of this in the future as we try to create. We're moving from a one-size-fits-all consumption narrative to from you, with you, for you, where products are being made bespoke to your individual needs and requirements and using your body and your biology to determine what you need. Now, one of the beauties of personalisation is that it creates lock-in. Once you've invested your time, energy, effort, Zoe costs quite a bit as well, money, into a product, you're less likely to change because of all of the effort that you've made in involving and engaging yourself with that product. And you also create emotional attachment to that product, which makes it more difficult for you to leave and go to a competitor. And that's one of the beauties of personalisation. So this is a great space for you to start to get closer to your consumer. But that isn't the only benefit for you. Many brands focus on sales. How much have we sold? How many units have we got consumers to buy? Wearable And using technology gives you behavioural data, behavioural insights. So what did you eat with that product? What time did you eat it? How often do you eat it? Where do you eat it? You're starting to learn a lot more about the patterns of use rather than just the consumption or a sale of a product, which gives you invaluable insights. Insights to create innovation in products. Insights to package those products and target those consumers with a bespoke offer. It allows you to get closer to them. And who doesn't want to be close to the consumers? Because the more that you understand them, the more that you can serve them. Your beliefs, desires and concerns are powerful because they influence consumption. Your journey with the consumer starts with a sale, builds to brand loyalty, love, and they become fanatical. But underlying all of that and at the heart of that is a belief about your product. You have the power to create beliefs and change beliefs and build beliefs that convince the consumer to buy more and convince the consumer of the benefits that your product brings to them. So, my message is, your messengers matter just as much as the message. Collaborate with those experts that give you the expert information and use your sales army to go and share that message widely to the masses. Because for mass consumption, you need mass awareness. And your sales teams offer you mass awareness direct with that customer. Tell everybody about the amazing things that your products do for them, functionality-wise, health halo-wise, and give your sales team the wings to fly and convince the consumer to buy. And the future is about getting close to your consumer, so we can't ignore the technology. We need to understand and apply technology to serve consumers better. I'd like to share a quote with you. Marketing was about creating a myth and telling it. Now it's about telling the truth and sharing it. Build your beliefs. Tell your truth. Share your truth. And elevate your brand. Thank you very much.